Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for such an opportunity to stay here and to speak with you. Yes? Yeah, it should work. Does it work? Who could help me with? Okay, good. So yes, I'm from Ukraine, and I'm exactly from the Kharkiv city, which started to be bombed on 24th of February. And on 20th of February, I was skating, in a skating rink with my daughter exactly in this square. And of course, when you see the figures, we understand that actually the situation is not very good, and definitely we also understand that this war, it's not just a war of my city or nearest city with Russians. It's definitely the war which really have impact to the whole world, and definitely not only automotive industry. We're fully aware about it, and I'm sure all of you also aware about it, that it's definitely not just local small conflict, and it's much more. And I also would like to ask you, is there anybody from you who has a business with Ukraine? May I ask you to raise your hand if anybody is working with Ukraine? Please, raise your hand. Good. 2, 3, 5, more? Good. And of course, many of companies who has a business with Ukraine has some thoughts, some risk management, risk analysis, and definitely some of you, some of European companies and worldwide companies really decided to cut the contracts, to bring back the equipment and tools, for automotive sector. Sometimes customer has own tools at supplier side. And definitely some of you even stop the production or ask our suppliers, please make a mirror production, or please do a backup production. It's clear, definitely clear. But can you imagine that actually Ukraine is not just 5 millions which flew to Europe, it's actually 40 millions. So just think about it. And of course, we definitely would like to say to all our customers, thank you for those who didn't stop production in Ukraine, who didn't stop to order from Ukraine. And special thanks for Volkswagen Group. I don't know if you like them or not, but they not only gathered all suppliers and made a speech again in front of all Ukrainian suppliers, that they will not stop any contract with Ukrainian companies, any contract with Ukrainian suppliers. But moreover, they even had a meeting with Leoni staff, which has actually 6,000 employees in Ukraine. And they had a meeting with the staff and say, we will not stop the contract with you. Can you imagine? Women were crying. Women were crying because, of course, we were aware that maybe all our German partners will go away because everybody afraid of war. It is clear, it's understandable. But thanks for those who stayed. And definitely not thanks for those who went out. For example, Siemens, they stopped production, they stopped supply, they stopped everything. But they still produce in Russia. Are there anybody from you who still have any business connection with Russia? May I ask you? Okay. As for location of our Ukrainian companies and actually automotive sector, you see that the most of our companies are located in a western part or central part. And of course, we understand that those who had a production in eastern part, they already relocated. They already moved to western part of Ukraine, together with their equipment and of course together with the staff. And you can imagine that 5 million our people, 5 million of our competent, actually, HR capacity also moved to western part of Ukraine. And I do remember our meeting with Kronberg and Schubert, which also have 3,000 employees in Ukraine. And they said half a year ago, Olga, we have a big problems with HR. We have a big problem with HR capacities because we don't have enough people. We don't have enough employees. Right now, can you imagine? They have full scope of employees and even free capacities. And actually, I should say that yes, right now, I mean, before war, and still right now, we do have 60,000 employees in automotive sector, about 38 companies, and they still exist. And 2 weeks ago, I mean, week ago and before that, I had a small survey among Ukrainian automotive suppliers, and I was surprised. All of them are almost 100% have their capacity and still working. Yes, we understood that in the beginning of war, you should stop your conveyors and stop your production, and definitely due to the war, disruptions in supply chains happened. We understand it, yeah. But right now, you do not have any disrupted supply chain. Anyone, I mean, all our suppliers are still supplying to you, are still supplying to Europe and still supplying to German suppliers and to German customers and other customers. So yes, of course, they had stoppage from 5 days. Those who was in the central part or eastern part, they had unfortunately bigger time for stoppage. But again, Leone, Kronberg, Schubert, and others, they have stopped only for some days. And right now, they have 90% capacities. And thanks to them, they do not even have an idea to move from Ukraine, to leave Ukraine, you know. They will stay. And yeah, we thanks for that. Yeah, we are working hard from the beginning of the war inside our cluster. And moreover, you know, it's a time to be united. We understood that we are not competitors to each other. We should be united because we have the same problems. At the beginning, we had problems with logistics. We had other problems, which we don't have right now. We have solved it because we are united, because we work together. And moreover, during the war, exactly from the beginning of the war, Ukrainian Cluster Alliance was established. And now we have 35 clusters inside and 1,080 companies. I'm one of coordinator of this cluster, and we also already a member of European Cluster Alliance, and we are working in European Cluster Collaboration Platform. So actually, our main position is, of course, stop work with Russia and proceed working with us. You still have a lot of capacities there. You still have a lot of business connections there. Just replace. And of course, definitely we need to increase your orders, and definitely we need working economy. Because you saw the slide, we have really big decrease in economy right now. And we are strong, we survive, we definitely will win, but we need working economy. And in this case, we definitely need your support. I also would like to pay your attention to one region of Ukraine, which actually has a border with 4 European countries, with Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, and Poland. It's called Zakarpattia region, which quite also automotive sector there, with one and the only one OEM there. And definitely this is a place which has one of the best location, one of the best logistic hub. And this is exactly the company, first of all, the company Eurocar, which from the beginning of war, they stopped the production, they opened refugee camp, they opened logistic camp for humanitarian support. But in June, they will renew this production and they will start to produce Skoda cars again. I also would like to show you a small movie about it. I mean, about this industrial park, which is really have good locations and really could be, how to say, really could be big possibilities for all of you, for each of you. Because how do you think, I mean, I'm sure you also know that we will win this war. But do you think that you should start already partnering? You should start already find new potential suppliers or new potential possibilities or for new production capacity? We have a good news because we have already a support, governmental support to open new OEMs in Ukraine, exactly in this location. And I have even better news that owner of company Eurocar and this industrial park is among us and really good, is open to collaborate with you. Oleg Boyarin, may I ask you to stand up? So please take your chance. Take your chance to start partnering, to start collaboration with us. Because he's also an association head of our Federation of Automotive Industry, and definitely could be the best entrance for you. So thank you so much for your attention. Stand with Ukraine, and also I would like to ask you, do you think that this is exactly the time when you should start thinking about possible partnership, about possible partnering for Ukraine? Do you think that it is already time to start? If yes, raise your hand. Good. Thank you so much. Slava Ukraini!
Mrs. Stroumyova, thank you very much for your presentation. We have received some questions, and I would like to start with the following one. How can you manage damages of your supply chain infrastructure due to delivery capabilities?
You mean to Europe?
Yeah.
But we deliver. I mean, as for infrastructure in western part of Ukraine is not damaged. So we deliver every day.
Okay. And how did the war impact production of automotive components?
Again, all our automotive companies are working now. Yes, we do have some relocation production site from eastern part, but again, they already finished their relocation and they proceed their production.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Stroumyova, thank you very much for the presentation and thank you very much for answering the questions.
Yes, thank you so much for your attention. Thank